over there some archbishop. Been a school them from when me in a khaki shot. Liverpool couldn't test the way me raw sit up quick draw. Him drop and can't get up, him not fast enough for my problem that you never solve. Send for the Dan brace for a firestorm, cause I turn into a monster. Ready for the war, better with your black. None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Bad pants in over to some archbishop. Them no bad. School them from me in a darkish. Them no bad. School could do with me rosy. Drop enough and can't beat up. No fast enough for my Bible that you never solve. Send for the brand race for your fire storm, cause I tell you to a monster. Ready for the war. Better with your phone. None of them boy, they no bad. Left a mark, young gog on a regular. We say them hardly ready. Them a new type of artillery. We a boss and a Tom and Jerry. Out the blue I hit you with an airstrike. They not bad like my air nice. It's a rare sight, yeah. Steady aim with precision. Make the vision with a clear sight. Better go get your affairs right. Them boy, they no none of them boy, they no bad. Road back, live with my bar. If you mark, them no bad. On a regular, we see them hard, them no bad. Me a new type of artillery. We a bust, and a Tom and Jerry. Out the blue, you with the airstrike. They no bad, me air nice. Clear sight. They ain't no bad. And it's the vision, we got clear sight. Better to get your fit. Them boy, they no bad.
Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast with Burnout Sports and the Marion Siren. How are we doing today? My name's Tristan Greider, joined with my incredible co-hosts Daniel Chaney and Justin Cox. Man, oh man, we're back again after the Daytona 500. Jay, how we doing?
Man, I'm all right today, honestly. It's been a pretty good day. I was at work. Everybody got to leave early but me. I was kind of upset, but it's okay. But it's okay.
That's crazy.
It'd be like that.
It'd be like that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine. It is what it is. But it's been a good day. I still need to do some homework, so I think I'm gonna do that after the podcast tonight. And then yeah, pretty much. Weekend was pretty good. I thought the Daytona 500 was awesome. I just want to say that much. So, yeah. Daniel, what's up with you, man?
Yeah, it's been kind of a long day. A lot of homework, but I still got to finish an essay. But we'll work on that after the podcast. But I've had a pretty solid day, kind of busy, but it is what it is sometimes. I'm ready to talk about some racing. We have some pretty good races this weekend. And so I'm really excited to talk about that because I think Daytona was pretty good. It was pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good.
Definitely not perfect, and we're going to get into that for sure. But let's go ahead and do a quick overview of the show. We are going to have a great show today. Stingray Robb, driver of the number 51 for Dale Quinn Racing, is going to stop by the show. We're going to transition to that right after I do this little intro. Then we're going to talk Daytona. We're going to rank the F1 liveries that have all came out this season. And we're going to give our predictions for Auto Club Speedway. But let's go ahead and transition into seeing what our main man, the Sninger's doing.
Even in the valley of the can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test. Cause I was lost until you found me.
Welcome back to the Indy Boys Racing Podcast. We are joined with a guy, Boys Racing Podcast. We are joined with a guy who is about to make his IndyCar debut, and we couldn't be more proud. Proud dads over here. Stingray Robb, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
Doing great.
We're so proud. We're so proud. That's really what we're here to talk about. We just want to celebrate you a little bit here on the episode because, I mean, you told us last season that it was pretty much IndyCar bust this year. And so we're counting down the rides. We're like, where's Stingray going to go? The Hoon Coast ride goes away. We see the Chip Ganassi seat go away. We're like, where is Sting going to go? And then he goes to our favorite team, Dale Coyne Racing. We're so excited that you're going to race for DCR. So how did that process kind of come together?
Dude, this offseason was so weird. You know, going into Laguna Seca, I think that we talked about this a little bit, but I hadn't had a win yet. And so it's kind of like, okay, do we make the move up? Do we stay in Indy Lights? We had offers from several teams to stay in Indy Lights. And it was a matter of making a decision and taking that leap of faith to committing to maybe not doing anything. And so the reason that we made that decision to commit to IndyCar and take that leap of faith, like I said, was because the Firestone tire was being introduced in Indy Lights. And that was just a game changer for everyone in the series. I mean, all the data, all the video, all the knowledge that had been built up for the last few years with the Cooper tire is now being overrun by the Firestone compound. And it's great to see the support of the series. You know, it looks like IndyCar and Indy Next are now going to be a good farmers program together. But it was a risk I wasn't really willing to take. You know, say I finished third or even second again in the championship. It lowers my stock value from what I had this last year. So it's like, even if I repeat my success, it's not going to be good enough to make that jump to IndyCar, amongst other things. I mean, we all saw what happened to Linus. So it's like, what's to say that I wouldn't have that same situation if I stayed in Indy Next? So might as well go for it. We saw an open door, so we tried to run through it as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's a great open door to go to. We have a lot of connections over there at DCR. Obviously, one of the guys that you and your teammate now. I guess I can say your teammate. That's amazing. You and your teammate.
What's the name you called him, Tristan?
Worked Up White Boy Racing, baby.
Worked Up White Boy Racing with Indy Boys Autosport.
Man,
That's kind of the name that we're going with over here. There might be shirts. There might be shirts in the future. But it's just really exciting to see that you guys kind of get to come together and be the youngest team with combined age in IndyCar history. That is incredible. I mean, like, is there a little bit of pressure?
Is that actually a true stat?
That's a statistic.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, you and
cool.
Malukas are the youngest teammated team in IndyCar history, which is incredible.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. That's super cool.
That's really cool. I mean, you're going into your rookie year. Obviously, last year we saw a really competitive rookie of the year race. This year, there's like the main four guys between you, Augustine, Marcus Armstrong, and I'm forgetting one. Oh, Ben Peterson.
Yeah.
So, like, what's like the competitive aspect between you guys for this year's rookie of the year?
I think it'll be similar to what David went through last year. Obviously, Lundgaard and him were battling it pretty hard until the end of the season. I think Lundgaard's team got it figured out a little bit better towards the end of the year. I mean, he was always quick at Indy GP. And I think that the DCR team, they did really well on the ovals in comparison. So it was cool to see like the contrast. It's like if there was more ovals, David might have won Rookie of the Year. Yeah. So I don't think that there's any reason to believe that we wouldn't be in that same situation this year. And obviously with David having that experience so recently, I mean, it'll help me adjust to the things that he had to fight through at the beginning of his transition. I mean, already I've taken notes from him, and I texted him like day one of signing with the team, like, hey, David, the team said that I should text you. And I just wanted to ask a few questions. And he gave me like a good answer, and I like learned from it right away. And so it was cool to see like that he's open and willing to help me, and he knows that that's going to help the team in the long run. Because he knows that, I mean, it's me behind the wheel and him behind the wheel. We can't give each other all the answers and just expect to have the same results. Like there's way more that goes into it than just, knowing everything. So I think that he trusts himself to be quicker than me at the beginning, but I hope that here pretty soon I'll be catching up to him. So yeah, that was good.
It's exciting. It's really exciting stuff. So speaking of catching up and like going to the tracks themselves, what's the one you got circled on your calendar? I asked this to every driver before the offseason. What's the track that you're like, this is gonna be one I got?
I think the Indy 500, man. Like I don't
There you go.
understand how I couldn't be excited
Yeah.
about that.
Mhm.
And I made sure I was like, okay. Like I'm close to IndyCar. I gotta go before I'm sitting on the grid. And so the last couple of years I went to the Indy 500, and like just being a fan there, like you feel like you're bawling your eyes out almost when they're singing Back Home Again, Indiana, and the airplanes fly over and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So it's pretty cool. And another one I really want to do is Long Beach. I love the West Coast races.
Love Long Beach.
And that track is just crazy. Like it's every year is chaos because it's a street course. But not only that, but the grip level I feel like is so high there because they have the drift cars on track right before IndyCar. And so the rubber that gets laid down before even an IndyCar touches a track is crazy. So you see guys, they're complaining like, oh, the car is stuck. It's like, what other track do you hear that at? You never hear that. So I'm excited. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to hear Alan Bestwick announce, and from Idaho, Stingray Robb. I think everyone's just excited to hear that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I told you a couple months ago when we were at IRP during qualifying, they just started talking about you because you have a cool name. That was just something that
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you
That's
remember that?
funny.
Yeah, me and sister were like lined up to talk to like some drivers, and we just heard that over the PA. We were like, "Wait a minute!"
I was like, "Oh, I know that guy." Yeah, but,
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. We're really excited for you, man. That's pretty
Thank
much
you.
what that's all like.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much what it is. But
It is
speaking of-
awesome.
Speaking of this off season, like kind of like in the past, like we know that you love go-karting. Like, what were some of the racing that you did this off season?
So every year, our local track in Idaho, it's a newer track. They put on an event called the Spud Cup. Fittingly, being in Idaho, spuds and such. But it's an LO206 go-kart race. And I ended up doing that with my nephew and some friends and stuff.
Awesome.
And I did a little bit of driver coaching. I'm trying to think back. This feels like so long ago now. The off season was way too long, so I'm trying to remember what was off season and what was before. But I also did an endurance race out there with my helmet painter, and that was total chaos, like absolute chaos doing an LO206 endurance race. But our Le Mans starts were spot on.
Nice.
So, but that's the only racing that I've done. I did a test at the beginning of January, and then the thermal test recently. And those are the only times I've sat in a cart or a car since Laguna Seca in September.
Wow. Well, I mean, Laguna Seca, you kind of went out on top, though, which is something that I think a lot of Indy Lights drivers don't really get to say, is that they won one of their final starts in Lights. So, or I guess now in Indy next,
Yeah.
with the brand change, which I love. Daniel was a little shaky on it at first.
I wasn't okay for different reasons though.
Speaking of Daniel, you go right ahead, man.
Yeah, so I just got a few quick questions. The first one, we try to ask this to every kind of rookie driver that we talk to. I know we asked this last year to David. So I just want to know, like, you're new to this whole like IndyCar top level thing. How long do you think it'll take till it like feels real for you? Like, what do you think that moment where it just finally clicks in that like, wow, I'm really here?
I've been wondering the same thing because every time I show up to the track and it's like Joseph Newgarden comes up and says hello, I'm like, oh my gosh, do you know who you are? Like, you're saying hi to me? You're not supposed to do that. I'm like, oh wait, no. Like, okay, I'm here for a reason. Like, this is me now. I don't know. I think post race one, I'll start to settle in maybe, and I don't know. I don't know when it's gonna feel real. I feel like I'm living a dream, man.
Do you think the Indy 500 will maybe be when it finally clicks in? Because I know that's what a lot of drivers tend to say. That's when it really feels real.
Yeah, I think that because it's the biggest race on the calendar, that's probably when the realization hits of like, okay, what we're doing is incredible. And you're doing stupid speeds there. I mean, like outrageous speeds.
Yeah.
You're in a spaceship that's flying, turned over on the ground. I mean, it's It's not right, but
That's
it's
a great way
so,
of describing it. That's a wonderful way of describing it. You're in a spaceship.
33
Turn.
spaceships all just completely go in full
It's an
speed.
inverted airplane wing.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know at what point it feels real. I mean, I think that all the way through my career, I've been in moments where it's like it feels almost out of body experiences because it's something that I've always wanted to do and I've visualized doing, and like I feel like it's what I've meant to be doing. And until I get in that situation, it doesn't feel like I'm supposed to be there. That makes sense. So I'm not taking it for granted. And like even at the test at thermal, like I didn't have this overwhelming feeling of like, man, what am I doing here? This is crazy. Like I felt like I was where I was supposed to be. And so it's just a matter of like when I step out of the car and I go back to the hotel that night, I look back at the day, I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I just did that. And so I think that might be what you're asking a little bit. It's just like, when am I going to realize, okay, this is what I'm actually living? You know, in the moment I'm fine, but afterwards looking back, I'm like amazed by it.
Yeah. And then, so another question, these are kind of two questions. One of them is a little quicker, more fun question, but they all kind of revolve around Rickware Racing. Obviously, you're with Dale Coyne Racing, but part of the partnership is with the program of Rickware Racing. One of the first questions I've got, was there any part of you that was sad the car's not going to be purple this year? Because that was a pretty big trademark, and I know we were excited. We're like, wow, Stingray's going to be in the purple car. Is there any part of you that's a little bit disappointed that it's not purple?
A little bit disappointed. I will say I think that the livery might change throughout the season with different things that are going on the car. So
Love it.
I'm
Love
excited
to
about
hear
that. But I don't know yet. I think that's kind of the fun of IndyCar racing is that you can kind of play around with some good looks, and it's cool to have the 51 on the car though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like the 51 is a signature of Rickware Racing, and you know, watching Grosjean and Sato and even Pillow. I mean, I don't think Pillow was in the 51 car, but I mean, he was with the team, and I don't know. It's cool. It's cool to be in that spot now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. And then also kind of a follow-up question. Rickware Racing, also a very well-known car in the NASCAR series. You've got a little bit of like NASCAR feeder series experience, and we've seen a lot of drivers kind of get one-off opportunities in the NASCAR here. I just got to know, is there any possibility coming up, whether it's this year, next year, just any time in the future, is there intrigue for you to run a NASCAR race?
Because that 15 has a rotation of drivers. That 15
Yeah.
does have a rotation of drivers.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say no.
Yes, I love
If the
that.
offer comes
love
along,
hearing
I'm down. You know, it's kind of cool seeing Connor Daly making a run for the 500 now. I don't know. I think it would be cool. I wonder. I mean, you see a lot of NASCAR guys come to IndyCar, like Jimmy, obviously. Juan Pablo Montoya did it at some point. And I wonder what it would be like to step into NASCAR again, just because I think the newer cars are a lot more like a GTD or sports car. Instead of, you know, the older taxi cabs that I drove. So yeah, I mean, if the offer came around, I wouldn't say no. Rick seems like a good guy too, so he might get crazy hair and decide to put me in one of his cars at some point.
Is there one race you have checked off as like, that's the one I want to do?
No, I mean, all the NASCAR races are chaotic. So I don't think it really matters where you're at. It's going to be a ball.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep that noted.
Yeah.
We'll keep that noted.
Yep. Let Rick know. Let Rick know that.
Oh yeah.
that's what I
Oh
said.
yeah.
He follows
We'll
us
put-
on
we'll put
Twitter.
the tweets- we'll put
He
the
does
tweets
follow. Rick Ware does follow us on Twitter. So
Oh,
that,
very good.
that
Very
could
good.
that could go out there. We could.
We will start the movement. We will
Just
get
click
it
and
out
post
there.
that, say like 1 million likes, and that we'll put Stinger in an IndyCar or in an NASCAR.
We'll start some petitions, protest at tracks.
I like it.
We got
I think it's
this.
good. It could be a
We
good
will
idea.
get this to happen.
Yeah.
All right, Jay. I know you got some things
Okay.
you want to kind of talk about.
All right, so I'm a pretty big fitness guy myself, and I see you got some goals right behind you, right there on the chalkboard behind
Yeah.
you. So like,
Yeah.
how has your fitness regimen kind of changed going from Indy Next to IndyCar now that you have a few tests like under your belt?
Yeah. I mean, we always say the best training is to be in the car, and during the off season, you can't do that. So you're kind of guessing on where you're at when you get into the car for the first time. And I actually felt really good. So I moved to Indianapolis around last April, and I wasn't here full time. So I was bouncing back between here and Idaho. And of course, Pit Fit training is kind of the hub for a lot of drivers in their physical training. and they're based out of Indianapolis. And so whenever I was in Indy, I would go to the gym. I might go like rock climbing. I would go for a run every once in a while, but it wasn't like a full-time thing. But once we committed to going to IndyCar, I tried to be in Indianapolis as much as possible. And so I picked a time every day. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in at this time, and this is the regimen I'm going to work on. And then take us on block schedules, right? So they have different things that we're working on at individual times. So, for 2 weeks, you're doing a max bench. And then for 2 weeks, you're doing a max squat. And then the next week, you're doing cardio. And so, like, I've just been working my way through the blocks coming into the season. But one thing I will say is I underestimated the neck.
We've heard that a lot.
Going to thermal, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. I would go through turn 9 in the chicane section there. And at the end of day 2, it's a right, left, and you're almost flat out. And I would just thunk, 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 thunk. My head would just bounce off the headrest, and I felt like a pinball in there. But the rest of my body was fine. I'm like, okay, I'm strong in the shoulders and the everywhere else I need to be. Like, my endurance is good, cardio is good. Yeah. It's just my head. I can't keep my head up.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, no, I've kind of asked. Well, when we first had David on our show, when like he was coming into his rookie season, I asked him a similar question because I just like to hear about stuff like that and see like where you guys have to adjust yourselves and start working on certain things. And I figured the neck was a major one, of course, but he said his butt hurt a lot too. Like, do you have the same?
He mentioned that.
Yeah.
That was a funny thing because
Yeah.
I mean, day 1, you kind of like are knocking the rust off. You're feeling everything out, and then all of the sore spots show up for day 2.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, man, my shoulder's kind of sore here, and I'm like, my lower back feels a little tight, but not too bad. And he's like, dude, my butt hurts. I was like, what? I don't understand that. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the clenching in the car. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, it's real
just,
intense. So he just like.
The pucker factor.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. But my next question, so like what is your exact goal for this season? Like we know you may not be going necessarily for race wins and stuff since it's your first season, which I mean race win is always great, you know what I'm saying? But so like
I'm not going to turn it down.
Exactly. What is like your exact goal this season? Just to learn, or
I think rookie of the year's a good goal to have.
Yeah.
Great goal.
So that's definitely one of them. But I didn't know what my goals were going to be yet until we showed up at thermal because like I had no baseline for where I stood.
Yeah.
But Max Pappas gave me some good advice before we even started testing on day 1.
Man. Love that.
And I think he has a lot of good insight for young drivers just because he's been around for a while. He's got personal experience. He's got skin in the game, it seems like. So, and he just loves racing. You know, he's someone that doesn't seem arrogant with whatever he's telling you. He's like, he honestly loves and has a passion for racing, and he wants to pass that along to other people. But anyways, I got to talk to him, and one of the things he said is like, this is advice that I wish I would have gotten as a young driver coming into IndyCar, and it's finish races and finish every lap. And don't worry about, the speed. He said that every driver that's in IndyCar has speed in them, but as a rookie, you have to wait for it to come out. And that was an interesting thing. Like, okay, everyone deserves to be here. Like, there are no slumps. And one of the things that he also brought up was like, imagine you like 5 years from now, how much better of a driver you would be. That's who you're racing against. So like, don't expect to come into the series and beat yourself 5 years from now on day 1. Like, that would mean that the rest of the series was underperforming. And that's not to say like you can't have good results, but just imagine where you'll be with that experience, and that's where the other guys already are. Okay. And so he's like, okay, for the first 4 races, finish every lap and finish on the lead lap. Don't make any mistakes, because if you crash, pushing a little bit too hard or whatever else, you're going to lose more confidence than you're going to gain from going faster. So he's like, just make sure that you're not killing yourself trying to be a hot shot at the beginning of your career. Like, just be consistent. And yeah, I mean, that was great advice for me. I mean, I think it helped me get through the test as well, because like day 1, looking at the timesheets, I was nowhere to be found. But like day 2 rolled around, I felt a lot better. So yeah, I think that, there's some wisdom in saying like, just give it time.
Patience is a virtue. Yeah,
that's true.
I'm ready to run through a brick wall right now.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. So like, with that piece of advice, because to me, like, sometimes it seems like some like newer drivers come in and they're maybe too slow because maybe they're kind of underperforming a little bit on purpose. Does that maybe have like a little fear in you a little bit? If like hearing that advice, does that draw any signs to that though?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like there is a balance, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm. Yeah,
Totally.
That's what I'm trying. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's tough. As a rookie,
Yeah.
you don't know where that balance is.
Yeah.
So I guess that it's our job to figure it out. And it's something that like it's not a whole new ball game, right? Because we get to be rookies in junior levels almost every year, it seems like.
Yeah,
Every couple of years you're entering a new series.
Mhm.
And I think that I am one of the drivers that does better with more experience, if that makes sense. Like my progression takes longer,
Yeah.
but I maybe achieve further. I don't know. I've always relied on like the 10,000 hour rule. I don't know if you guys have read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, but I remember reading that in go-karting, and my dad was just pounding it into my brain like, okay, we're going to get you 10,000 hours in the seat because 10,000 hours is what it takes to be great at whatever you're doing. And so it was always seat time. And so I think that I relied on that a lot as a young kid. And it kind of trained my mind to, work on things progressively rather than, taking a big shot and then maybe throwing it away.
Okay.
And I think that you see that with rookie drivers sometimes. It's like it is a catch-22. Not to name names, but this last year there was a rookie that came in and he crashed in like the first 7 out of the 9 races of the year. And he was supposed to be this really hot shoe, and he didn't have a chance to, like really show his true colors until later on in the season, maybe, or if he had a good car or whatever else. And so it's just like, at what point do you risk it all to maybe make something happen?
Right.
And I think that IndyCar racing, it's about consistency. And you saw that last year when Will Power won the championship versus his teammate that had 5 wins on the season.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I think that it'll just be constant improvement is the name of the game. And I got to be able to push. Like, I can't say, oh, I'm just waiting for the speed to come. Like, that's not how it works, right? Like you said. You can't be lazy about it. And that's something that I've been working on a lot in the last few years is like coming out of the gate, pushing as hard as I can and like not worried about making mistakes because like we have practice sessions and stuff. I can try going deep in a brake zone and then long in the corner or whatever. And that's what it's there for. That's why we have practice sessions. And I think that, as a young driver, it's easy to like be timid and like, oh, I don't want to hit the wall. I don't want to upset the team, but it's a different ball game now. In IndyCar, you got to put it on the edge. And I think that we saw that at Thermal. There's a lot of orange cars off in the dirt there. And it was because they were pushing the limit. They were fighting that 300th they wanted in that last turn. They wanted it. And it's like, you gotta do something. So you might as well send it all the way to the wall and see how far you can get. But
you don't know until you try.
Exactly. So I've always said that the driver's job is to push it that 101% and be able to maintain it. It's like, how far can you hang off the edge without falling off? So it is an interesting thing as a rookie. Like, you're finding that edge. You're finding out how far over you can hang without it biting you back.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah. Nice. I like to hear that. So, Tristan, what's up, man?
Yes. So we'll close it out with a couple more little questions. Firstly, it's going to be a little bit disappointing to see that you and your bestie Hunter McElroy aren't going to be racing for the same team this year. But do you think that he's the favorite to take it home in the next championship this year?
That is an interesting question. So obviously, like, I got some ears in the business. With people at Andretti or now being with Dale Quinn Racing, I hear from David on the HMD side. But I would say Hunter is the favorite, but I don't know where Andretti stands. I've always thought that they'll figure it out no matter what. I think that they're a great team and they got a lot of resources. But based off of the first test of the season, they struggled. And so I think it'll be interesting to see as the year progresses, like, who's the team to beat. Because I think Juncos and Cape were the top 2 teams at the test. And then HMD was pretty close. But it sounds like the new tire compound is throwing a wrench in a lot of other people's plans. So we'll see how they adjust. I think every track's going to be a different ball game.
Yeah.
And knowing Hunter's driving style, I think he might struggle a little bit more with the tire compound that they have this year. I think that he does really well with one thing and then he struggles with another. And so it'll be interesting to see kind of the direction that he leads the team as far as setup goes. I think that he's got some young or rookie teammates in the season that he may not be able to lean on as much as he did last year. I think that we had a pretty good driver lineup at Andretti last year with me, Matt Brabham, Christian Rasmussen, and him. Someone was always quick. And so we could always pull setup changes or data from the driving aspect of things. And I think this year that it'll be kind of him running the show. And so I think that'll put a bit more pressure on him and maybe force him to be a bit more decisive and have to adapt. And I hope that he does well. I think the big thing is adapting. I think that he'll have to make some changes to the way he drives the car and what he wants out of the car.
I feel that.
No, he's definitely gonna be outnumbered. He's definitely gonna be outnumbered this year, though, because HMG
For
has
sure.
like 9 cars.
For sure.
They have 9 and Ernie Francis Jr. They
And
have
Ernie
Force
Francis
Indy,
Jr.
and they
Yeah.
have that Force Indy partnership.
Yeah,
crazy.
Crazy.
but sorry.
All right. Next thing. So we know that you're an avid Lego video games player. Or I guess we just found that out. What's your favorite Lego video game of all time?
Lego Star Wars is the OG, man.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I think I beat that game like 2 times. Like I beat it, started over, and then beat it again.
Yeah.
What else am I supposed to do as a kid?
Yeah.
But most recently, I've been playing Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. I can't remember, but it's got both.
Okay.
Okay.
And so like I'm like trying to figure out which is where, and I don't know. It's fun to be playing it again. I like it.
I love it. What console are you on?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Nice.
I like it.
Yep.
We like it.
Nice.
Let's do that. All right, and my final question, Stingray. Now, you're going to get a lot of potato questions this year, so I might as well start you off with a good
You're
one.
warming me up.
I'm going to warm you up with a good one. So, there's a lot of different ways to, it's like for like potatoes to be in dishes. So, like, are you more of a French fries guy or a hash browns guy?
Or tater tots.
They have different places, man.
They do.
I think if I were to pick one of the 3, I'd go tater tots because like a combo of both. It's the best of both worlds.
True. It really is a Hannah Montana.
That's funny.
I love that. And if you had to rank your media content day experience for IndyCar, your first one out of 10, what would you rank it?
That's tough.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love doing the media stuff. The teleprompters that they have were unbelievable. I'm like, oh man, this makes it so much easier. It was fun. I didn't have my suit until day 2.
Yeah.
And so I had to do 2 days of media work where everyone else did like 3/4 of a day. So I felt like I was working overtime, but I don't know. A rank 1 to 10, probably a 7. I know it'll get better.
It's a solid start.
Yeah, it's a good start.
Yeah, and Stingray, we know that we're so excited to see what gifts you have prepared for us that we can put under this on the season. But man, we are just so excited for you to get into the seat at the 51, for you to roll down the grid at IMS, going spaceship speeds, as you said. But Stingray, we're gonna give the floor to you. Go ahead and you have a quick 30-second plug.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm super excited. I think this year is going to be really good. Like I said, goal is to be rookie of the year. I'm with a really good team. Dale Coyne Racing's got a lot of experience, and I think it's cool to have, like you guys mentioned, the 2 youngest drivers in IndyCar history as teammates. And I mean, David and I grew up together a little bit. Same sort of experience coming up through karting. So it's cool to see like the dreams are being realized for both of us at the same time. But definitely, it's cool to see Rick Ware on the side of the car. The 51 number is going to be cool. And yeah, I think that it's pretty cool to kind of realize my own dream a little bit. It's taken a lot of work from not just myself, but from everyone around me. And, I think that the question was posed at the media day that, do you think Lundqvist deserves a seat? I think the answer was yes. And I think I deserve a seat as well, but it doesn't matter if you're the best driver in the world. It takes a lot more than that to win races and to be in an IndyCar series. So I'm really proud of who I have around me and all the work that they've put in and their commitment. And I thank God every day that I get to wake up and do what I do.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Love that. We love to hear it. Make sure you guys follow him. Social media is at Stingray Robb. But most importantly, thank you so much, man, for joining the show.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much, Stingray, for joining the show. It's always a joy to have Stingray on the show. We met Stingray back in our first, I think it was in our around our first 15 episodes was when we first interviewed Stingray,
Yeah,
and he's
like
been. I think so. I'd have to
think
go back and
11?
look.
11
Maybe
sounds right.
around there. Around
11
there.
sounds right. I
It's
can't remember.
either 11 or it's 14. It's in my mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was actually the third driver guest that we ever had on the show. And if you ever meet him in person, one of the most genuine guys that we've met.
So down to earth.
And just letting you guys know that he does rep the Indy Boy shirt while he works out.
does.
That
He
is a
does.
fact. And
He
he has
confirmed.
let us know that. And it's confirmed. Yeah, there you go. And you guys, if you guys ever run into us at the track, we always have Indy Boy shirts. And they're pretty cheap. So I mean,
At least
just
one
saying.
day each weekend, basically.
Pretty much. So go ahead and check us out. But yeah, thanks Stingray for joining the show. Let's go ahead and transition into motorsport media.
Alrighty. We're getting into some NASCAR.
NASCAR racing. So obviously, guys, Daytona was the last weekend, so we're gonna have a lot of news leading into this weekend, which is Auto Club. So let's start with the Cup Series news. Biggest news right now is that Lucas Oil is gonna sponsor Kyle Busch. So that's another sponsor for Kyle Busch. So it just proves that Joe Gibbs Racing was
Yeah.
not really trying to find sponsorship for Kyle Busch
Oh, yeah.
because this is another sponsor that's just been brought in by Kyle. Like Lucas Oil was not with RCR before Kyle Busch got there. So just saying. It was interesting to see. I don't know if you guys caught that the interview with that Josh Sims had with Kyle Busch, that he said that Joe Gibbs was paying him out of pocket for his entire last season
wow.
with Joe Gibbs Racing. So
Dang.
Kyle said he didn't feel comfortable unless he had a sponsor doing that, and so it's nice to see that Busch is finding some sponsorship there.
That's dope. I didn't.
But
know
it's
that.
also like, I mean, come on, right? You get what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But the livery is beautiful. I think the livery's on screen right now. Am I right, Jay?
No. I
No,
didn't know
livery's
there
not
was one already released.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I would've
The
put that
livery's
on there.
Yeah, the livery's beautiful, but you guys should go check that out. I believe it's on Jordan Bianchi's Twitter. All right, next, Jesse Iwuji Motorsports. This team was a full-time team. This is the team owned by Jesse Iwuji and NFL Hall of Famer Emmett Smith. They are going to go back to a part-time venture in 2023 after sponsorship issues. So the next race that I believe they will attempt is Las Vegas. I don't see them on the list for this weekend at Auto Club, at least. I could check again. But as of right now, Jesse Iwuji Motorsports is part-time in 2023. They just did Daytona, where they finished outside the top 30. And they will have a rotation of Jesse Iwuji and Kyle Weatherman doing those races. So again, Kyle Weatherman gets screwed out of a ride. So it's the second time that's happened this season, but that sucks for Jesse and for Kyle Weatherman. But they'll be part-time. Next race planned is Las Vegas. Next, MBM Motorsports. This is a team that used to compete full-time in the Cup Series with Timmy Hill. They are going to scale back to one car, but they're going to be full-time in the Xfinity. So they will be there every single weekend with one car. Planning on it being the 66 because the 13, apparently that number has now been bought by a certain number called Colleague Racing. So Colleague Racing will be running a fourth car every once in a while with the number 13.
Hey, Tristan, with that Iwuji news, Casey's in the chat, and he says that he got told by the team that Atlanta will be their next race. And
Atlanta will be their next race.
They're gonna miss the whole West Coast swing or whatever. So
Wow.
yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
crazy.
thanks for letting me know that, man. You're obviously more up on that with me. Thanks, Casey. Appreciate that. But, you know, I mean, it kind of sucks for Jesse, but back to MBM. So it's planning on being the number 66 car. So this will be, since the 13 was bought by Colleague Racing, after they just tried to qualify for the Daytona 500 with Chandler Smith. But this will be a rotation between drivers like Timmy Hill, JJ Yaley, and apparently Ryan Vargas has teased a couple of starts with MBM since he is not running full time with Mike Harmon at CHR Racing. So it's kind of cool that he's got that going on over there. But also, they have teased that they are going to do some road course starts with drivers like Boris Said. So that's awesome as well.
Okay.
Interesting.
Next news I have is about Daniel's favorite driver, Tyler Reddick. He's going to drive for Sam Hunt Racing this weekend in the number 24 at Auto Club. That immediately puts that car into winning contention. So look for that number 24 to run up front. Also, in some Tyler Reddick news, he has a new sponsor, which is kind of cool. Monster has released a new alcoholic beverage called Monster Beast, and so that will be on his car from now on. So you'll be able to tell a little bit between the monster schemes. And so Tyler will be Monster Beast for this weekend. Next, David Starr is listed as the Hour Motorsports driver this weekend. Could this be a big time thing? Could he be going full time now? Have they found sponsorship? Because this was only supposed to be select starts. And this is 2 races in a row. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Could David Starr be going back full time?
I don't know about that. I don't know about full time. I mean, David Starr's a cool guy and all, but I don't think full time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, especially, I can never get over what happened with him and Noah Gragson. I can never get over that.
That was one of the best TikToks I've ever made. I'm just saying. I don't know if y'all have seen that, but I made a banger TikTok about that, and it was like the Noah Gragson driving away, David Starr. It was that. But yeah, so David Starr could be going full time with Our Motorsports the remainder of the season, but that could change. All right, and final news. This was confirmed. So this is confirmed now. Austin Dillon is going to drive the Kaulig number 10 this weekend. There were some weird speculations about who was going to drive this car this weekend because Kaulig Racing posted a picture of Kyle Busch getting fitted in a car, and a lot of people were like, is he racing this weekend? Austin Dillon's on the schedule. So as of right now, as we're recording this episode on Tuesday, 8:19 p.m., February 21st, Austin Dillon's in the 10 car this weekend. We have still yet to see Landon Castle in this car. As of right now, he's planned part-time. But also, as we know, Landon Castle does not have any sponsorship right now. Right. So could these seats be getting taken away for him? Because I believe
it's possible.
It's possible because he doesn't have sponsorship. So this is interesting. But hey, if the Kaulig decides to go trophy hunting like they've always claimed, Austin Dillon at Auto Club, he's won there before. That's a good driver to have it.
Oh yeah.
All right, that's all the news I have on the NASCAR side.
We don't have anything for IndyCar, do we?
No, I don't think we do. Daniel, do we have any IndyCar news? I mean, the only thing you would just want to mention it really quick.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's 2 things. I guess. So first thing, when we're talking about like the feeder series, Michael D'Orlando is moving up to the USF Pro 2000 series. I know they changed the name.
Formerly Indy
Pro.
Formerly Indy Pros.
They changed it. It's confusing. Don't worry, we were all confused looking at the graphic for a little bit. But he is the defending USF 2000 champion. So we're getting to see him move up with Turn 3 Motorsport. I think Michael D'Orlando is really talented.
I think Michael D'Orlando is a future IndyCar champion. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but
he's got something.
He's got that dog in him.
He has that D'Orlando dog in him.
Dog in him.
Love it.
And so that was like one of the things. And then the other thing that it's not necessarily like big news, but they did announce that they have a release date for the 100 Days of the 500. I believe that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. It's their CW show for IndyCar. I can pull up whatever the release date is.
I think they said August 21st, April 21st, if I remember right.
Yeah,
that sounds right. That sounds right. Yeah,
it is April 27th.
Oh, I was a week off.
Damn.
Yeah, 1 week off.
That puts it a month out from the 500, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, we'll talk about that more closer to when it comes out and kind of deciding like, do we think it's a good idea? What do we think they should include, shouldn't include? We'll talk a lot more about that going into 500 season because believe me, I want to be there too, but we're not there yet. But those are just kind of the little things happening in the IndyCar world. Nothing super big. Obviously, last week we had the big news of Tony Kanaan retiring after the season. Now we're just kind of in the swing of things, waiting for it to come back.
Up to 32 drivers.
We are up to 32 drivers. And it's just a matter of time before we get that 33rd. Let's be real. Sure. It's just a matter of time. It took a hot minute last year, but
Kyle Busch.
I think it's gonna. I don't
He
know.
said
Kyle Busch. Second dry
I
ramble
don't think
car.
this year. I don't
Second
think this
dry
year.
ramble car.
I don't know. My prediction is Dryer Rainbolt car will partner with Pred Auto Sports.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
my prediction.
But also, there's a certain driver named Dalton Kellett who needs a ride.
That's true. There's a lot of drivers that would love to run the 500 that we don't know. Like, if there are plans in motion, we don't know if there are things happening behind the scenes. But as soon as we hear the slightest rumor, we will jump on that and report it here. As of now, we're just waiting for it to be race season, baby.
Oh yeah.
Time for the formulas.
Time for
Of
the
course.
formulas. Time for the formulas. Let's get into it. Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3, Formula E. Starting off with
V.
some Formula E. We are going to get in the Formula E. It's Formula E race week in Cape Town, South Africa, everybody. For anybody trying to check out some Formula E action, FP1 and FP2 are all on cbssports.com, CBS Sports app, the Formula E Race Center, and Formula E YouTube channel. Qualifying is exclusively on CBS Sports app, and the same with the race. But the race is actually on CBS Sports Network, like the actual TV channel. The times are the time on your screen right now is for this weekend in America. So that's, I think it's Eastern Standard Time. That's just what the website gave me. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah, so feel free to check out some Formula E this weekend. I'm definitely going to be watching as much as I can, at least. It's early in the morning, so I'm definitely probably going to watch it. But, yeah, so let's go ahead and transition over to Formula 3. Sophia Flores joins Alpine as an Alpine Academy driver in F3. So, yeah, Sophia Flores, Alpine F3 Alpine Academy driver. I think it's Alpine Academy. I don't remember. F2, Jack Doohan will be Alpine's new F1 reserve driver. He said on Twitter he is very pleased to announce that he'll be the reserve driver for the 2023 Alpine F1 team. Very grateful for this opportunity to work closely with the team and to provide my support for the year and learn as much as possible for the future. Can't wait to get started. In which Jack Doohan is a very, very good driver. I must say so myself. And Alpine got a steal in this guy, I think. So with him being in their reserve driver role and just
like I saw that post, I was like, dang, like an F3 driver is a reserve driver, that's crazy. But then I looked up some of this guy's stats, and I'm like, this guy is gonna go
he's
places.
F2 though. He's F2 though. So
F2, my bad. But this guy's going places.
Yeah, no, Jack Doohan, he's good. He's good. And now F1. Let's go. And Alfa Romeo CEO is not certain the team will leave F1 after the Sauber partnership ends in 2023. So basically, Alfa Romeo was expected to be exiting out because they're, as it says, the partnership with Sauber is supposed to end at the end of this year. But Alfa Romeo plans to stick around. So I kind of like that. I like Alfa Romeo. I like the F1 team and everything. Their livery this year is absolutely sick, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So, yeah. But I think that Alfa Romeo sticking around is probably best for business for them, in my opinion. So, yeah. Alpine has confirmed to be Andretti's F1 engine supplier if their entry bid is successful. That's kind of interesting because they may not be allowing Cadillac. They may not be allowing Cadillac for some reason going in. I think that's why they're switching. I don't know. I think that's why they would switch, in my opinion. That's my take.
Crazy.
That's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. I don't know.
That's
maybe
really
that's
weird,
why.
but,
Maybe that's why they're so like hesitant on Andretti joining. You know.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. And then Honda is in talks with McLaren, as we talked about a little bit last week. I said Lando Norris is going to be a future F1 champion in 2026, but Honda is in talks with multiple teams. Last week, I only saw that Honda was in talks with McLaren. But
who are they in talks with, Jay?
This week, we see that they're in talks with, I believe, AlphaTauri, and I believe Williams was the other one.
I
So-
honestly listen. I hope it's AlphaTauri because because if AlphaTauri breaks off of Red Bull, I feel like they might actually succeed a little bit more. And as a guy who really likes Nick DeVries and thinks he has a lot of talent, I like that for his career, and I also like that
Yeah.
for that team in general. So hopefully that is what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, I think that McLaren is probably gonna pick up that Honda partnership. But
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, people throwing around the right number prices might also have an influence in that.
But
as well.
if you
Right.
think about it, that Honda partnership could affect their Formula E programs and their IndyCar programs. Because right now, McLaren or Aero McLaren is
Is
a
Chevy.
Chevy team in
Right.
IndyCar,
That's true.
and in Formula E, I can't remember what their manufacturer is, but I know it's not Honda. So like, this could affect a lot of things.
It could turn the wheels on a
Yeah.
lot of different
Most
factors.
definitely. Most definitely. But yeah, Honda, I think is gonna go with McLaren. So that's all I gotta say. Final thing before we select some liveries. Well, I got another thing after this, but we're gonna select some liveries in a minute. We're gonna rank our liveries from this season, or from the releases, because now all the liveries are out. But Lance Stroll is out for testing after being involved in a bicycle accident. Apparently he is expected to make a quick recovery. Felipe Drugovich.
Dad, I fell off my bike. I can't test.
Felipe Drugovich is supposed to fill in, or at least he is an option. Stoffel Van Dorn is Aston's reserve driver and will compete in Formula E this weekend. So, yeah,
Cool.
pretty much all that. And speaking of testing, F1 preseason testing is underway Thursday through Saturday, 3 days of testing. F1 TV Pro, if you haven't watched preseason testing,
Hit that red button.
hit that red button. That's Sky Sports. But with all that being said, you guys want to rank some liveries now?
All right.
Dude, I got my list.
Oh yeah.
I don't have a set list, but I know my top two are.
Okay. All right.
All right, you want me to go my list first then, I guess?
Yeah, you got it. Just go.
All right, so
go pretty slow.
you want me to go 10 to 1 or you want me to go 1 to 10?
Do 10 to 1.
Okay. So we've seen a lot of schemes this year. A lot of these schemes are unchanged, but we did see a couple of teams go through and do something different. So I am going to rank them based on stuff that they did some stuff different, but there are some classic schemes that I can't say no to. Number 10, that being said, as much as I just said I love AlphaTauri, this scheme is trash. AlphaTauri's scheme is not good this year.
It's the red. It's the red.
It's the
You know what
red.
I mean? Like
It
this scheme
messes everything up.
This was one. If you go back to last season, I said that AlphaTauri was one of my top 10 schemes, or one of my top 5 schemes. Not top 10. Of course, it's top 10. One of my top 5 schemes. But the red, I don't mess with it. I think I like the kind of shuriken style that they were going for with drivers like Yuki Tsunoda, because like Japanese lineage with shurikens. But I don't know. It's not really something that I love on the tires. But it's the same scheme. So yeah, it's the same scheme. But the red doesn't look good. Number 9, I'm going to go Red Bull just because I've seen the same scheme over and over and over again, so I'm tired of it. Number 8, this is where I'm going to put Aston Martin. As much as I love the green, it's the same scheme as last year.
Yeah.
There's a slight tweak. It's a different tone of green, but it's pretty much the same. So the AMR 23 is going to be number 8. Number 7, this is where I'm going to throw Haas. I like that Haas tried something different. This scheme is better than Aston Martin. I don't know if it's better than Red Bull. I just put Red Bull lower just because I'm mad at Red Bull. But 7, I'm going to go Haas. 6, this is where I'm going Ferrari. Same scheme as last year. Minute differences. Very minute differences. They didn't really try anything new. But they did add a little bit of white to the black rear wing. So that's kind of cool, a little different.
And they added the Ferrari on the rear ring, which is absolutely beautiful. And everybody
That is cool.
was asking for that.
I did like that, but it is number 6 for me because number 5 has to be Williams. If you don't put Williams in your top 5, what's wrong with you? Williams has to be in the top 5. That blue is beautiful. If only I could see them on TV and not in the back. That would be great. Number 4, as an IndyCar fan, I'm putting McLaren here. The schemes are almost identical to Pato Award's number 5
That's what
car.
I was thinking.
And I like it. I like it. I like that there's a little bit of like connection to IndyCar. So I like it. All right. 1, 2, and 3 guys for me are interchangeable. And I'm looking at my list and I have it here. I don't know if I want to do anything different. I don't know.
I just realized that you might put Alpine in your top 3.
I am putting Alpine in my top 3 because I like it. I like the pink, man. Dude. The blue for me. Okay, so I like when people do things differently, and Alpine is running a different scheme for 3 races, and I like it. That's my biggest thing there. Yeah, I'll put Alpine at 3. Because I like the blue scheme itself. And I like the pink car. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for pink cars. Number 2, I'm gonna go Mercedes, and then number 1, Alfa Romeo. I think. Shit. Yeah. So Mercedes is a pretty car. I like that they went to a black scheme, so I like that they did something different. But Alfa Romeo's scheme is beautiful, and as these guys know, I love Alfa Romeo. I love their cars, and I love their history. So it's my only F1 jersey that I own is an Alfa Romeo jersey. I'm just saying.
Nice.
But yeah, that's my list.
Daniel, you want to do yours now?
Okay, yeah, it's gonna be kind of like on the fly because like I have a general idea. Let's see. 10. I'm gonna go AlphaTauri.
Okay.
I think if you just replaced the red with more navy or white, honestly, could have been top 5.
Glad you're right.
I get that like it's because of the new deal with Orlan. It doesn't look that good. It just clashes. That's just my opinion. 9. Okay, this is kind of a hot take. I'm gonna put McLaren number 9. I like the colors. I like how it works. I think IndyCar does it better because I don't like the fact that most of it is kind of like that grayish black.
The carbon fiber.
Yeah, the carbon fiber. I don't like when teams do too much with carbon fiber.
That's all this season is. So.
I know. And
Daniel's list
like,
is already irrelevant. Puts McLaren at 9. Can't believe you.
Social media. I don't know. Social media is kind of.
Yeah, but IndyCar fans liked it.
I like how it looks in IndyCar. I don't like their F1 car that much.
Yeah. I mean,
listen, just the F1 car is ugly as hell doesn't mean that you have to hate the.
I don't like the way it's implemented. I don't like the way that the colors are implemented. If it was more of the orange, I'd probably like it better.
Yeah. I mean, like they were showing an on-car camera, like today, an onboard camera of the car when they were out, like just like testing the car or whatever today. And like I didn't even know it was a McLaren car. I only knew it was McLaren because it was the McLaren account that posted it. I think.
Crazy.
I didn't even know it was a McLaren car. It just was
like they like. I like that they like the papaya, but there wasn't a whole lot of papaya on it. So I mean, I kind of like changed. But last year's car was the best of all. Was the best out of all the liveries. That's just me saying that. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Coming in number 8. I'm gonna say Aston Martin. I think it's clean. I think it works. It's just not my favorite. Like, I don't think any of these are atrociously awful. Like,
yeah.
They're all like fine.
AlphaTauri's is pretty bad.
AlphaTauri's is like fine. I don't know. Number 7. I'm gonna go Alpine. It's just like
I concur.
I liked it.
I
liked
like
it last year. I liked it in the past. I don't know why. Just this car is not doing it too much for me. I'm at number 6. I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna go with Haas. Again, think it's clean. Think it works. It's nothing too spectacular.
Okay.
5. I'm gonna go Williams. It's a top 5 car.
You have to.
I like the battery. That's genius.
The battery's awesome. I forgot to mention the battery, but that is
genius. Cool. Just straight up. 4. I'm gonna go Ferrari.
Oh my God, he has Red Bull in the top 3.
I'm going Red Bull 3rd. I know it's the same thing. It is just it's a modern classic. I've said it before. I've
It's a
said it again.
modern classic.
I am tired of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm tired of it. It's a pretty car. Like you know like the Pete Davidson like thing where he's like we love you, song's catchy. That's how I feel. It's like I know
Catchy.
we see it all the time.
You're gonna have a long 9 months.
It's a banger.
I
of a
love
livery.
you.
Like
I love you. Right.
yeah, it's a
Red
good
Bull's catchy.
livery. I know we're tired.
You're gonna have a
Stop
long
the
9
slander.
months watching Max win every weekend.
Yeah, I know we don't want to see it up there. You're gonna. It's good. Relax. Number 2, I gotta go with Alfa Romeo. Number 1, I'm a sucker for the black
Ooh.
Mercedes car. I don't
Hey,
think
I'm
it's like
not
the
saying
best
it's not
Mercedes car.
beautiful.
I don't think it's the best Mercedes car. But I think
Debatable.
they took the best parts of like the black car that they ran like 2 years ago and before then, and they added in the little flair of like the neon that they experimented with last year. I really like how it looks. The only thing that would have made it better, in my opinion, is if like the kind of turquoise teal. I wish that was also the neon. I wish the neon was a little bit more consistently spread out. I know like the identity of the team happens with the teal, so I get it.
Yeah.
I would
Because
like
of
to see some
Persona.
experimentation, you know.
Yeah.
But it's still
And-
number 1.
okay.
That
Hey,
changes
quick-
nothing.
Quick shout out to my man Nathan Baldwin, biggest diehard Red Bull fan I've ever met. We've met him before. My buddy in Ohio. So do you guys remember Nathan? He was at
Yeah, I
at
think
Tori's
so, yeah.
at Tori's
Yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
remember,
yeah, he's a cool guy. But yeah, so like you were saying modern classic and stuff. I'm like I gotta shout out Nathan real quick. Like,
yeah.
go ahead.
Okay.
It's a good livery. I stand by that.
Okay, so I think we're all in agreement that AlphaTauri has the absolute worst car. Because we all three.
I wanted to put it 9, but I was like,
Yeah.
no, I gotta put it 10.
Yeah. Okay. So next, I'm gonna go Aston Martin. Then I'm gonna
Okay.
go Red Bull. And then
Yeah, like I could have switched those in my head,
yeah,
but like I'm glad we're kind of around the same.
I mean we're all kind of around the same, other than
Yeah.
Daniel. Daniel has Red Bull.
Freaking Daniel over there
Pretty much, it's just like Red Bull and McLaren.
gives it a
just kind
9
of
out of 10.
flipped-ish.
Yeah. I'm with putting McLaren at 7.
Okay, I'll give you 7.
Then I'll go Williams 6th. And then next I will go Alpine.
Okay.
I'm
I'll give you
really
Alpine
really
5.
just basing off aesthetics, like if I like the aesthetic of it or not. So that's what I'm going off of on my judgment. So if I like the aesthetic of it, then I'm probably going to have
You're
it.
putting
ranked
Haas
higher.
on the top 4.
Yeah, Haas is going.
I like
next.
that. I like that. I like that. Haas at 4.
Yeah, and then next we have what do I have left?
You got Mercedes left. You got Alfa Romeo left, and you have Ferrari left. Yeah.
Ferrari is gonna go next, 3rd, because I've seen Ferrari do the same thing kind of every year. But I like the Ferrari rear wing, and that kind of just sells me on the whole car. Next, I'm going Alfa Romeo, and then Mercedes, just like Daniel.
Yeah. So we all have the same top 2.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we all like agree that like Mercedes and Alfa Romeo knocked it out of the park this year.
Yeah, pretty much. I just think
Nice.
a lot of the schemes were repeated. I think it needs to be different every year. I'm not gonna lie, but that may be like the IndyCar like / NASCAR fan in me that thinks that too, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't know, just I get it. Like, it's more better. It's like it's better for brand identity, but like at the same time, it's kind of annoying that like, especially because Red Bull teased it. Like they were gonna do something new.
Yeah,
'Cause it
you
was, like,
you complained about it a couple
I
weeks ago.
hate
You were
that.
like, I
hate
sat
that.
through it.
I sat through that whole hour because they teased it like it was gonna be like they teased it on Twitter, like Instagram, whatever. It said
I
blank
really
slate.
thought they were gonna come out with a gold car.
I thought it was
Like,
gonna
I
be white.
really thought.
I thought it was gonna be white. What like
That would've been-
white
that
and
would've
then
been
like
cool. That
the
would've been
Red Bull
good.
blue and then the like even gold. Yeah, gold or yellow. Like I thought it was gonna be mainly white. That's what I thought. But
Mhm.
I guess I stood corrected. I shouldn't have expected any different. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know.
I love how Daniel Ricciardo was like he hyping the car up. He's like, yeah, here's the new Red Bull car. You've seen it before, but it's still amazing. So
It's still
iconic.
amazing. Yes.
That made me
Bro
laugh.
thinks he's on the team.
Bro thinks he's on the team. That was pretty good. I like that. Bro thinks he's on the team.
Oh, those are the best.
No, but like I do have a question for you guys. So obviously I know Jay was saying like the IndyCar NASCAR fan in him wished that everybody would change it up every year. Would you like it if each team had 2 liveries, like one for each driver, and like it could just be like a few colors are like swapped here and there.
But
Like,
see-
would
but
that be something
See,
that?
that's where the F1 fan comes out at me because I like the uniformity of that in F1,
That's
where
fair.
each team has the same livery on the same car or like on the same 2 cars.
This isn't
I like
F1. This isn't F1. Why is Trackhouse Racing running the same GoPro car? That was my favorite Twitter, like the RFK
Yeah,
racing.
yeah, the
like,
RFK
car.
I think I made
I love
one.
how everybody on Twitter is just like, don't say it, don't say it.
Yeah, I think I made one that was the Target cars. It was Dixon and
Franchitti.
Dario Franchitti. Yeah, I made one of them too, and I was like, this isn't F1. What are we doing running similar or running the same target scheme in IndyCar? I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that trend though. That was funny.
No,
That
but
was
I think I like that they have some uniformity in F1, and I liked that. While I did like that Charles Leclerc kind of ran a little bit of a different scheme last season for one of the races. I mean,
yeah,
kinda like the-
they did the yellow thing at Monza.
yeah, the yellow
the 50
at Monza.
year thing. I think it was like
Yeah.
50 years or something like that. I can't
I
remember.
liked it, but
Yeah.
I kind of like when there's uniformity in F1 just because that's kind of what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Mhm.
I just didn't know like if that's something that you would kind of like to see. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, there's our list, everyone. It's on the screen right now.
Yeah, we'll put that on social media, guys. Put that on our Instagram, and then you guys can leave in the comments what is your ranking of the F1 list
Oh yeah.
of the F1 livery schemes.
Yep. There you go. All right. Tristan, we got a race to review. What's this race
Talk
that
about
we're
the
reviewing?
Daytona 500. Let's do this thing. All right. Daggum, man. All right, so Daytona. Let's go through the weekend winners. Firstly, we have to talk about the Truck Series winner. Zane Smith goes back to back in a rain-shortened race that went under caution, went back went back to red flag, then caution, red flag, caution, red flag. Zane Smith wins it back to back. None of us picked Zane Smith. I was surprised, so none of us get a point for that. But
I would, dude. Dude, in my head,
yeah.
I was going to pick Zane Smith, and then I was like, I don't know how good he is on super speeds though. Like he doesn't really.
I picked Ben Rhodes, and he got involved in an incident. But I mean,
I had
it is
Christian
what it is.
Eckes. I think he was like up there. Right
Eckes finished top 3.
Yeah, that's
so I'd give yourself a little high
I
five
almost
for that
picked
one.
Nick Sanchez, and I'm gonna be honest, he looked like he probably
Nick
should've
Sanchez,
won.
freaking fast.
Nah.
Put up one of the fastest lap. That lap.
Y'all
would've
know I'm a
given him
Nick
the
Sanchez
pole.
truther. I am
Oh,
a
I know.
Nick Sanchez
You've been a Sanchez truther
truther.
since he was in ARCA, so I mean, hey, you're more than welcome
That's
to.
true. That's true.
Speaking of which, all the KBM cars looked fast. Purdy looked great. Like, I don't think I've ever said that in my life, but Chase Purdy looked fast. Jack Wood looked good. Nick Sanchez. So good job, KBM cars. You guys really were good this weekend. Then we got to move on to the ARCA series. Jay, you got to announce this winner, man. The winner of ARCA.
The man from my hometown. Well, technically my hometown, because it's literally like 15 minutes that way from me. But like, Greg Van Alst. He lives 15 minutes from me in Chesterfield, Indiana. I live in Anderson, Indiana. It's a small town, like literally, like I said, like 5, 10, 15 minutes that way. He won the ARCA race. He's tried for so long. I mean, so long, and he finally got it done. Like every time I know he's racing in an ARCA race, which typically is super speedways, I always watch because I gotta support the man. You know what I'm saying? And my mom worked with him at Roche, and my aunt and like most of my family that works at Roche knew him because they all work there or whatever. So, yeah. But dude, Greg Van Oss, man, what's up, man? Let's go.
That's
so
fire.
awesome.
That was.
That's so
Hey, I'm
awesome.
proud. I'm proud of the guy.
We all
gotta
went in our group chat. We're like, guys.
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 I'm
That
mad
dog
because
in him.
And the thing, he's gotten so close. Last year finishing second, the year before that finishing third. He has gotten so close to winning Daytona or Talladega, and
But I mean, every time
no
he
one
did-
deserves it more.
But at every time he's been in a race in ARCA on a super speedway, he's been in someone else's incident. I swear. Like even my mom and aunt were saying the same thing. the other day. Like they were saying the same thing. Like, oh, he always crashes. I'm like, well, he doesn't necessarily crash. He gets caught up in other people's stuff. From what at least I've watched, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so I don't know.
Well, I'm happy for the guy. Hopefully, we can try to get him on the show.
That'd be cool.
I'd love to see him on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats, Greg Van Alst. Xfinity Series, Austin Hill goes back to back after dominating the Xfinity race. I can't believe you don't dominate Daytona. Like the man led the entire race.
Yeah.
He fended off 4 junior motorsports cars to win that thing after they completely screwed up their train. But hey, Brandon Jones goes for a spin. Josh Berry runs out of gas. Sam Mayer makes a run at it and then ends up on his lid. Luckily, he is okay. Back-to-back years where we've seen a flip on that back straightaway. But that flip looked very similar to Ryan Newman's flip in 2020. And great reaction time on Parker Kligerman's car part to not slam into Ryan Newman.
Yeah.
Not Ryan Newman, into Sam Mayer. Into Sam Mayer.
Very Ryan Newman-esque.
And happy to say that Sam Mayer is okay. And then Justin Allgaier finishes 3rd. So congrats to all of them. And congrats to Austin Hill on his back-to-back wins. I guess not congrats to the junior motorsports cars since they
they blew it. They blew it. They
I
were
don't
all
know.
4 lined up and they blew it. How? What do they even do? What do they even do?
What does he do? What was he cooking?
Were they cooking?
What
What
they cooking?
were
They
they
wasn't
cooking?
They were not cooking.
Yeah.
Whatsoever they
And-
wasn't cooking.
And then finally, the main event of the day over the weekend was the Daytona 500. Stage 1 winner was Brad Keselowski. Those RFK Fords were looking fast, and was not surprised to see Brad Keselowski win Stage 1. Ryan Preece was 2nd in that stage with Chris Buescher 3rd. Stage 2 winner was Ross Chastain with Alex Bowman 2nd and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 3rd. I would like to say that in our Burnout Sports group chat, before with around 10 laps to go, I texted.
Under the caution, under one of
Don't-
the cautions.
don't count out that 47. It's right here.
We can't.
I
see
said
it. Move
don't
it over a
count
little bit.
out
Move it
that
over a little bit.
47.
Move it over. Show it again. Move it over a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's right there. It says don't count out that 47. And I
47 won it.
and the 47. Congrats to Ricky Stenhouse Jr., man. A guy who is trolled on all the time. We've trolled him on the show as Ricky Spinhouse. Ricky Spin twice. But this guy just won the Great American Race, snaps in 199 race winless streak since he last won at Daytona in 2017. Man,
That's
like
crazy.
that's so great, and I'm happy for JTG Doherty Racing. They haven't won a race since 2014, and it's a good feeling.
Make you
And-
happy, make you smile.
And
give it
if
up to-
we don't
and give
have
it
more
up-
than
and give it up to Brad Doherty, first black owner to win
Yeah.
the Daytona
Mhm.
500.
love it,
So-
we'd love to see that. And then that team also has the first female owner to win the Daytona 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's exciting. That's really awesome.
Yep.
Because I saw it on Twitter. Technically, I don't think Teresa Earnhardt was an owner of DEI when Dale won the 500. So I don't know like how that all works and everything. But congrats to JTG Doherty Racing on your Daytona 500 win. And as of right now, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in the postseason, and I know none of us picked him last week.
No.
So all our brackets are busted.
Yeah.
But
For now.
if there's more than 16 winners, then Ricky Stenhouse Jr. needs to stay consistent, and we'll see. I mean, Ricky's showed some speed over the years in that JTG Doherty equipment, but last season finished, I believe, 30th in points. So
Hold on.
I don't know.
Hold on. The script is real right now. They take away the point thing for the 30th person. The points. And Ricky Stenhouse wins the first race. It's scripted. I don't care. It's fake. It's fake.
It's not.
real.
It's not scripted until Cody Ware wins at Talladega. Man. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
I will buy
but
all the race winner merch if that happens.
We will release the flag that says "Man, I love goth girls." No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about for Indy, like wearing my like jacket and then like having that cape like and walking on the grid. Could you imagine
Yeah,
that?
that'd be pretty funny.
That'd be
pretty
fire. Yeah, that could be pretty sweet. That could be pretty sweet.
But yeah, how like when drivers win the championship, they have their championship flag out the window.
Yeah.
Yes, man, I love
goth
girls.
girls. That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, congrats, Ricky, on a Daytona 500 victory. But we do have to talk about it. Kyle Busch would have won this race if it was 500 miles.
Yup. Yup.
This race went 530 miles. It's just annoying because personally, I think Suarez could have made it back to pit road. He wasn't going to hit anything. And then they called the caution immediately. Right. Okay. What pisses me off about it. Okay. Riley Herbst did the same thing earlier in the race. Was there a caution? No. And there was cars in pit road. There was no caution. NASCAR didn't even think about it. 4 laps to go. Suarez spins.
Mhm.
Put it out. Like, come on. Like, it's annoying. And I don't know. I was gonna walk away with another point. That's all I'm saying. But I'm happy for Ricky. But something we do have to talk about the Daytona 500. Fox Sports. What are you doing?
Daytona
Yep.
500.
What are you
I would let you
doing?
finish this, but we have to check our Coca-Cola moment of the night.
Whopper, Junior Double
Doug.
Bacon Whopper.
I need to try it first.
Wait.
Hey, but you know what I don't miss though?
What a pain in the hey neighbor.
Hey,
You know what commercial I don't miss from last year though?
What's that?
He saved at the pump.
Oh, I forgot about he
I
saved the
forgot
Oh my
pump.
about
god! I could never forget. That was
He saved
ingrained
at
in my
the-
brain after the
Woo!
Clash last year. It was the
Yeah.
worst.
He said it was
I
the worst.
think definitely the commercial of the year was I need to try it first, but
need
I made a
to
banger
try
tweet.
it
I'm just
first.
saying, I had a banger tweet with when NASCAR gets in the way of Limu Emu and the T-Mobile ad.
You can't keep getting away with this.
Can't keep getting it. But come on, Daytona. So someone did an average of how many laps Daytona was green before it went to caution, and it came out to 5.6 laps per green flag. Green flag run. That's crazy. Come on, Fox Sports. What are you doing? The longest green flag run that we got was 15 laps before the final caution. And even then, they went to commercial 6 times in between those green, white checkers. Okay. So we've heard that the TV contract is up at the end of the year. Does Fox get a TV contract?
I hope not. I really hope
Depends
not.
I
what
hope
money-
it goes to
depends
CBS.
what the money is.
I hope it's CBS. Personally, I hope it's CBS. But with Kevin Harvick, they've announced that Kevin Harvick is going to be in the broadcast booth for Fox Sports next season, depending on if, they get a contract going, because this is a contract year. Does it go to CBS? Does it go to ESPN? What would you guys like to see? Or do
I'd
you
like
think
to
Fox
see-
Sports can step up their stuff?
I would like to see ESPN, honestly.
Yeah,
I would like to
Because
see E ESPN.
Fox Sports has the Super Bowl and Daytona now.
Yeah.
Because now that the Super Bowl is no longer on CBS, it's on Fox. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see it on ESPN or
Okay.
CBS. Those are just me.
I've been trying to find this tweet that this guy, Eddie Gossage, the previous
Yeah,
owner
Eddie
of
Gossage, yeah.
Texas,
Yep.
Texas Motor Speedway. So there's this tweet that I think someone made, and he might have reposted it. I can't exactly remember. I think he reposted it. So NASCAR Daytona in ads since 2001. So it shows 2001, 2010, and 2023. So in 2001, there was 19 commercial breaks. They missed 75 green flag laps. Or no, they missed 75 laps, sorry. Green flag laps missed was 71, and the percentage of green with ads was 35.5%. 2010, there was 20 commercial breaks. There were 68 laps missed, and green flag laps missed was 54. 27% of green was with ads. And then 2023, commercial breaks were 23, laps missed was 78, and green flag laps missed was 58. So actually, and that comes out to 29% of green with ads being shown. So actually, we're seeing more green flag laps than what we saw in 2001. And I saw that, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
it doesn't feel like that, though. You know what
However,
I'm saying?
I bet you there was a lot more side by side back then. I'm just saying. Like,
Maybe.
my favorite was how NASCAR went to caution, and then right after that, Tyler Reddick went boom. That was my favorite part of the race.
My head hit the wall.
It doesn't total in like side by sides into this though. So
Yeah, well, side by sides technically that doesn't count as a commercial break, I don't think, because you can still see the race.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Full screen commercials. I'm gonna count it next Daytona 500. I'm counting the commercial breaks. And we'll see if that is right.
Did you guys see my tweet that I made the other day?
Yes, I did see the tweet.
Yeah.
So like, I want them to try something. In case people didn't see it, I'm gonna reiterate on my tweet. I want them to try something like F1 or like soccer, football, whatever you may call it. They show a massive ads just before the race or just before the game, and then just after the race and just after the game. And during soccer/football games, they show a massive ads during the halftime break. Why can we not do that during stages? Like can we get a bunch of ads before the race? Then we watch the whole green flag run up until stage 1, and then just the whole stage break. Because what else are they gonna talk about? I mean, like they didn't even talk about anything during the stage.
Like
breaks
you could
anyway.
show green flag pit stops a little, like some pit stops, but then like just go back to commercials. We don't need to like hear Mike Joy and Clint. We don't have to hear Clint Boyer talking to Kevin Harvick and be like, "Hey, buddy!" Like we don't need to hear that.
Yeah,
Like,
He's clean up in the booth.
dude. Like just show
What
a
are you
massive,
thinking right now?
just show a massive commercials during the stage break. Get your ad percentage or however it works for the TV.
I need to try it first.
Yeah. But yeah, like just do it during the stage breaks before and after. Like, dude, like, and then just show the green flag laps. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I feel like that makes too much sense in my honest opinion. And maybe that's why it's not gonna work. But I don't know. That's my take. That's my take. I hate commercials though.
I hate it too. But I mean, you gotta get the bills somehow. What can you do? It's just annoying. And
I saw some backlash towards the overtime rule as well. What is your guys' takes on the overtime?
no, it's annoying. I mean, like it's like between overtime attempts. Do you know how long it took? We waited 20 minutes in between overtime attempts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I get that there was a crash, but they cleaned it up.
No. I'm talking about the overtime happening in general.
Oh, overtime happening in general?
Yeah.
The overtime rule, if you're gonna, like, I understand why we don't race back to the caution. Because if a driver is hurt, then you want to get the ambulances out there as fast as possible. However, it's NASCAR, so we know the ambulances aren't going to get out there as fast as possible.
It's happened in the past like that, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's just annoying. I don't know. I mean, give it one attempt and then call the race. That's all I'm going to say.
Dude,
Like,
that is,
Yeah.
I say
Like-
go back to 1 attempt or 3 attempts. Like how it used to
well,
be.
we saw 2. We saw 2 this time.
No, I mean just 3 in general. Like just
yeah.
3 at most. That's it.
Mhm.
And it's done. Like I feel like
I missed that.
I feel like them having unlimited attempts gives too many people the right to be aggressive because at some point if everybody crashes, you're going to be at the front.
Should we
Right.
bring
And
back
yeah,
the
If you
overtime
just,
line?
if you just felt like it, you could just wreck out everybody until you're just like in the first 2 rows.
Yeah. I
Should we
mean,
bring
that's
back the overtime line.
No.
It's a joke. Don't please don't.
Okay. I was about to get
Throw
I was
back
about
to when
get
Casey
serious.
Kane won the Brickyard 400, and it was because they were running out of sunlight, and and Denny Hamlin was spitting, and they're like, "Did Casey reach the overtime line?" Right when he hit the overtime line, they put it out.
Yeah. That's so crazy. I mean, hey, he won it though. So
He won. He gets those bricks.
yeah. No. Yeah. That I just I don't know.
I hope
think-
NASCAR changes it for next season.
Yeah. As a
don't
motorsport fan, yeah, I agree. I feel like it should be like 1 attempt and then that's it. I don't think there needs to be more than 3 at most though.
I also agree.
So
All right. Well, that was our talks about the Daytona 500. Congrats to race winner Limu Emu and his crew chief Doug. Congrats, Ricky. That was a great feat, and hopefully you can be in the playoffs. Just stay consistent out there.
Stay consistent.
All right.
Keep getting these Coca-Cola moment of the nights. You got this.
Got it. We need to try it first. Let's go get those predictions.
Oh, but after they win, we got to see their Goodwill or not Goodwill, Goodyear burnout.
Yeah,
Because
The Goodyear
everything
burnout.
the
is an
Goodyear
ad.
burnout that didn't have a burnout.
Yeah, because he ran out of gas.
Yeah.
But all right, prediction.
Oh no! An airplane flying over the speedway. Hopefully, there's nothing controversial about this. Let's zoom in on it.
All right. Oh yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, like come on,
there's
Fox.
there's not much that air show. Or
I
air show
can't
can
wait
do
to
about
see
that.
another commercial for Fox Nation. Am I right? Like,
I hope I
like-
can win Clint's cash.
can we? I hope we can win $25,000 of my money. Like,
It's my money. I didn't agree to this.
Like, I'm tired of seeing the same jokes. But I did think pre-race was pretty good. I thought
Yeah,
pre-race
it was actually
solid.
really good. Yeah, I watched all of pre-race. I liked it.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it to
the
suck
The
next week.
pre-race was entertaining.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. When are they gonna bring out the melon costumes again?
Yeah. When are they gonna do a whole bit on the seed?
yeah,
Can't wait for that.
Oh my god,
That was the
dude, I
worst thing
forgot
NASCAR
about
ever
that.
did.
I forgot about that, dude. You shouldn't have reminded me of that.
I
was
guarantee you they're gonna
fine
have
not
something
knowing.
to do with shopping at Kroger next week. Guarantee you.
Yeah, but all right.
Josh Sims and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. go to Kroger.
So I see we've got some Coca-Cola here, but I would buy it. But as they say, I need to try it first.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right, but let's get into some predictions, guys. Last week, I think Tristan was the only one to get a prediction right. So he's up 1-0 on us with his Austin Hill pick in the Xfinity Series race. So, boo. But
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and bounce back this week at Auto Club and see if me and Daniel can score some points this weekend, or maybe Tristan will keep his reign going. Tristan, you want to walk us through this weekend? At
Yes,
Auto
sir.
Club?
We're at Auto Club Speedway. This will be the final race at Auto Club before the reconfiguration. There is not going to be a race next season at Auto Club that has already been announced.
They were
So-
not cooking.
That's so dumb.
They were not cooking.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
We only have 2 races this weekend. The NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Cup Series are going to be here. And there is practice and qualifying. So that's cool.
Oh yeah.
Glad we have practice and qualifying.
Mhm.
There's 2 practices, actually. So thank you, NASCAR, for having practice. The only thing that's annoying is that why is qualifying before practice? Why is
Yeah.
never mind. I was
Listen,
looking at the wrong day.
They did the
Wrong
bare
day.
minimum. We can't ask too much more.
Practice is at 2, qualifying's at 2:45. Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's
Yay,
you
NASCAR! You did the bare
can't,
minimum.
you
Woo!
can't do any like that's a 45-minute practice session. Like that's stupid. Anyway, whatever. Let's start with the Xfinity Series. Some notable entries. We have Greg Alding is going to be in the 08 this week. He probably won't be a factor. Joe Graff Jr. is going to make his debut for Joe Gibbs Racing in that number 19. Tyler Reddick in the 24. Let's see if I see any other. Raj Caruth in the 45. CJ McLaughlin in the 53. And that looks like it's going to be it. Let's go ahead and do my predictions.
Ross Chastain in the 91.
I missed that one. Yeah, Ross Chastain in the 91. I missed that one. That being said, my pick this week, I am going to go with Josh Berry. That is my pick. Driver the number 8. He has to kind of have some redemption. He had a good race going.
It's fair.
He has to have some redemption. So I'm going Josh Berry.
Okay. Danny.
Here comes the
Throw
John
up
Hunter
the double
Nemechek pick.
C's, baby.
Oh,
Throw
Cole
up the
Custer.
double C's.
Oh, Cole Custer.
Cole Custer,
Crap,
baby.
it's Auto
He's
Club.
going
It's
back to
Auto
back.
Club.
And
I
after-
forgot.
He's gonna drink a beer.
He's
He's
gonna
gonna drink another beer.
and drink another beer.
Another beer.
Another
Okay,
beer.
if he wins the title, the episode is Glass Break.
Glass break.
Dude,
Stone Cold. It's Stone Cold. Cold
throw up the
Custer.
double C's, baby.
The thing that sucks though is that I would love Daniel to open the episode of him just crashing 2 beers together, but he can't because he's 21.
Yeah,
he's not 21. We'll do it for you, Dan.
We got some Dr.
do it,
K.
we'll do
It's
it.
all good.
You do it with
Wait,
the doctor.
Shout out to
You do
Kroger.
Kroger brand soda.
Shout out to Kroger, bro.
You do it with the Dr. K. We'll do it with beer. Okay.
Okay.
I got you.
Now my pick. I'm gonna go with Sammy Smith.
Ooh, that good pick. I like it. It's a good pick.
Oh wait, I just typed all those in the truck series. Whoops.
Whoopsie. All right, guys, we got Cup Series action at Daytona. This is going to be a 400-mile race.
Daytona.
I'm sorry, Auto Club. This is a 400-mile race. The weather, it's going to be pretty cold out there in California, and it is actually supposed to have a little bit of rain, so we might have some rain in California this weekend. So be prepared for Clint Boyer to have some rain coverage. Oh, God.
We don't want to open up that can of worms.
My first pick is the track killer himself. Give me Alex Bowman, the front Roman showman. That's my first pick. And then my second pick is going to be Daniel Suarez. A lot of people forget that he almost won this race last season. So I'm going to go Bowman and Suarez. Those are my two picks.
Daniel.
We're going to give it to the guy that should have won if he didn't have issues last year. We're going my boy Tyler Reddick. It's my main pick.
Okay.
I'm saving my Reddick pick for Vegas.
I'm picking him whenever I feel like it. So,
I like it.
like, do I think he's going to get 10 wins? No. Am I going to pick it that way? Maybe. Wild card pick. My wild card pick was going to be Bowman, but I don't want to.
Do you know who honestly is kind of a good pick, but I don't know if we want to save it for group pick or not. A lot of people forget that Eric Jones got second.
I was thinking.
Like third, but still.
Screw it. Back-to-back weeks. Eric Jones is my wild card pick.
That's a good pick.
Uh-oh.
Hey, I like it.
Dang. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with Joey Logano. And I'm going to go with as well. Man, I want to say him to play it safe, but yeah, screw it. Kyle Larson goes back to back.
Okay. Before we do our group pick and the chat pick, it's time for the Indy Boys Meme Driver of the Year. Oh, Indy Boys Meme Driver of the Year, guys. It's back. My driver, I'm going AJ Allmendinger. I get a point every time AJ Allmendinger gets a win. Is that cool?
Yeah.
That work for everybody?
Ooh, I'm thinking.
Got to see that man celebrating victory in the same way he always does with a "Let's go!" Celsius product placement. Look at the Celsius. Look at it.
Ooh, I'm thinking. Who do I
Goldfish
want my meme
Swim
driver
Academy.
to be? Between two. I don't think either of them will win the season, but I think one has a slight edge.
I feel like you're going to go Chris Buescher.
No, because I predicted him to make the playoffs, so I'm not going to go that way.
You going to go with
cheating.
Are you going to go like he gets us, Ty Gibbs?
No, I'm going to go with the man who saved my butt last year.
Ty Gibbs?
Noah
Gregson.
I'm going Big Hat Greg, baby.
Love it. Dude, it's the Be Real, guys. Live on Indy Boys. It's the Be Real.
That's the first time ever?
That is the first time ever.
What's the meme for AJ?
It's the let's go.
Just took the Be Real guys live on. You guys got to see that. You guys can follow me on Be Real Tristan Grider. Just that. Daniel, what's the Be Real, man?
Mine is Cheney Daniel.
Go follow us on Be Real, guys. Jay's a loser and doesn't have Be Real.
I don't have Be Real. I don't want Be Real.
I think during May we need to have the greatest Be Reals of all time.
Dude, Renus. We got to get Renus in the Be Real.
Can we get a Be Real yeet? A yeet reel, if you will.
What was yours again, Daniel?
I went with Noah Gregson, Big Hat Gregson, baby.
Big Hat Greg.
Vomit Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy. Don't hit me in the dinger.
Don't hit me in the dinger. There's so many memes you can make with AJ Allmendinger. It's kind of funny. And it's just his name.
Same with Gregson, honestly.
No, on a serious note, like RIP, though, to AJ Allmendinger's cat. Like, that's so depressing.
Mr. Tickles.
Mr. Tickles, RIP, man.
We lost a real one. Pour one out
We
for
really
the legend.
Like, I actually poured out Coke. I'm not going to lie.
But you got to try it first.
yeah.
I don't know who I'm gonna go with, guys. Who's a meme driver?
There's a lot of them, man. But the crazy thing is that some meme drivers could win. Do you know what? I think you should go Todd Gilliland, just as an
For the Todd squad?
for the Todd squad.
That's
like
who I was considering. That's who
Harrison
I was considering.
Burton, like a Corey LaJoy.
Well,
for the
let's be
flow.
real.
Stacking
Let's
them
be
deep,
honest.
selling them cheap.
Is season 2 being renewed?
Ooh, is season two
being renewed? That's a big.
Is
that's a big
season
question.
2 being renewed?
For what?
Of Life in the Fast Lane?
Life of the
Life in the Fast Lane, Dylan.
Do we know? Should I look it up?
Life in the
You gonna
Fast
go
Lane.
back to it?
Hey,
Jay?
if it's gonna be renewed, I'm doing it.
Let's see.
You should go BJ McLeod.
I was
'Cause we already
thinking
know the
Justin
memes,
Haley. I was thinking Justin Haley and how he.
It
calls
is not
AJ Allmendinger
renewed
grandpa.
yet. It is not renewed yet.
You
I'm
know what?
going-
Here,
I'm going Justin Haley, and how he calls AJ Allmendinger grandpa.
love it. Works for me. Group pick. Speaking of life in the fast lane, this guy finished second here last year,
Oh, did he,
and he's in 2 races, so we'd get 2 shots at the group pick. Do you guys agree with Austin Dillon or no?
Sure, let's do it.
Daniel, I don't.
I'm fine with it.
Okay,
I'm
Dan?
conflicted because I don't like to root for Austin Dillon's success most of the time.
Weren't you an
but-
RCR fan, Daniel?
I was a Tyler Reddick and Austin Hill and Sheldon Creed fan.
Oh,
Yes. He really said 3 of you 4 are cool.
okay.
This one has a mustache.
It's not a good one. That could have been your meme, Jay.
Wait, what?
The crappy mustache.
The crappy mustache.
Yeah, Austin Dillon's awful mustache that he tried for the first month.
It's definitely still there.
I
Is
don't
it still
remember.
there? Oh my
I
god.
didn't remember it. I didn't even realize it was bad.
It's have you seen it?
No. I haven't paid attention. really.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find a
All
good
right.
picture.
While he does that, anybody out in chat land right now, do you guys want to make a selection?
I don't really see anyone in chat at the moment. People probably left after seeing the boy Stinger on the show.
Yeah.
Because why would you not love Stinger?
For sure.
Why is it so short?
Oh, yeah.
It stops here.
I'm doing Austin Dillon, the meme stash.
I think Chatland, since we had a Rickware Racing driver on the show, I feel like you should give Chatland the Rickware Racing entries. So give them JJ Yaley and Cody Ware for the memes.
All right, bet. Cody Ware and JJ Yaley.
People are going to be like, why? All right, guys. Those are our predictions. If any of them hit, we'll let you guys know on Twitter. But I would just like to say I'm happy that I've taken a 1-0 series lead. Last year, I believe it took me till week 10 till I got my first pick or my first hit. So proud of me.
Hey.
All right, let's go ahead and transition.
Last year it was
Oh,
kind
sorry.
of unpredictable, though.
Last year was crazy
Yeah.
unpredictable. My favorite part was how Daniel got a pick for 8 straight weeks picking Noah Gregson.
Yeah.
Haha.
All right, let's go ahead and transition back to the main screen. Close this episode out. Little bit of a long one this week, guys. Thanks for hanging in with us here on the Indy Boys Racing podcast. As always, it's always a pleasure when we get to have a guest on the show. So shout out to Stingray Robb for coming by. Great guy, great fan. We're gonna have to play some Lego Star Wars with him. That'd be crazy. Some co-op. That'd be sick.
kinda cool.
Shout out to my incredible co-hosts, Limu Emu and Doug.
There it is.
Choose
For
your
them,
character.
I'm John Travolta. I'm just messing with you guys. Thanks to my co-host, Jay Cox, Daniel Cheney. My name is Tristan Greider. Have a good one out there, guys. We'll see you in Auto Club for some sad glass breaks. Peace!
Peace, guys.